It's hard to imagine it now, but at the time of the attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii was not yet a state. It was a territory of the United States, a status it had held since the end of the 19th century. And as shameful as it might seem to us now, all the ethnic diversity of the islands, its rich immigrant history, especially from Asia, was seen with suspicion by some American political leaders. They thought, and said out loud, that these islands were too exotic, too culturally diverse, frankly, too non-white to be a full and equal part of the United States. So when President Eisenhower signed Hawaii into statehood in 1959, it was not without controversy. Today, of course, all the ethnic diversity that made Hawaii seem so different 50 years ago was actually pointing the way for where the rest of the United States is now going. And if you want a sense of the journey of Hawaii and its people towards acceptance, talking to the state's senior U.S. Senator, Daniel Inouye, is a good place to start. Well, Senator, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure.
How do Hawaiians view their place in the United States now? And is it different from the way most Americans think Hawaiians think of their place?
Well, Hawaii, it wasn't done with this in mind, but when they got all these strange people together, people that in their homeland would have been enemies with others, we're insular, so we're forced to live together. Otherwise, you'd be fighting among each other. And that's the way I was brought up.
Today, Senator Inouye is one of the most powerful men in Washington.
This morning,
His storied career includes being the keynote speaker at the 1968 Democratic Convention.
I doubt that we can blame all the troubles of our times on Vietnam. Whether we know it or not, the marching feet of youth have led us into a new era of politics, and we can never turn back.
He has a legacy of getting things done in the Senate and has become by far Hawaii's most important statesman.
if December the 7th is going to teach us anything, it should be that we must remain vigilant at all times.
He was born into a Japanese immigrant family in Honolulu in 1924 and had just turned 17 when Japan, the homeland of his grandparents, attacked.
On December the 7th, I was preparing to go to church, and here I am putting on my necktie, and I'm listening to the music, and all of a sudden the disc jockey goes berserk. He says, "The Japs are bombing us. This is not an exercise." So my father was getting ready too, so I said, "Let's get out on the street and see what happens." Got out, looked towards Pearl Harbor, and my God, the puffs, anti-aircraft. And all of a sudden, 3 planes flew over us, gray with the red dot on the wings. I knew my life had changed.